Justin Jefferson has been having a historic season with the Minnesota Vikings. We have not seen a rookie like this play in the NFL, a rookie wide receiver like this play in the NFL since our own guy, Randy Moss. Right now, Justin Jefferson just passed 1,000 yards last Sunday. He passed 1,000 yards and is fourth in the NFL in receiving yards with 1,039. First Vikings rookie wide receiver ever to reach 100-yard games in one season. Of course, it's a rookie season. So anyways, rookie of the year candidate. He is a rookie of the year candidate, but there's this thing, he should get rookie of the year. But if there is a quarterback who is half decent, like Justin Herbert is, he will get rookie of the year. For that reason, is Justin Jefferson really a rookie of the year candidate? Yes, but the only way he would get rookie of the year is if Justin Herbert ends up getting injured or something like that and his season does fall flat. Of course, every award in the NFL is for quarterbacks. MVP, it goes to a quarterback. Rookie of the year, it will go to a quarterback if there is a quarterback deserving of it. And just about every other award is like that. Anyways, but many claim that Justin Jefferson right now is on track to break a not franchise record, NFL record. It's the exact same record. Most receiving yards by a rookie wide receiver, which is right now held by Randy Moss in 1999. I'm used to saying 2000. In 1998, Randy Moss got 69 receptions for 1,313 receiving yards. That's 19 yards a reception and 17 touchdowns. Now, that 17 touchdowns by a rookie wide receiver is untouchable. Justin Jefferson will not get 17 touchdowns this year, as he is only at 7 touchdowns right now. That would mean he would get 10 going forward, and that's just not going to happen. But currently, through 13 games, Justin Jefferson, with still 4 games to go, has 61 receptions for 1,039 yards, 17 yards per reception, 7 touchdowns, and 5 games with over 100 receiving yards. So he still is going to probably get more than that and not only break the record, which he already has, but extend his current record. He will surpass Randy Moss, who right now, Justin Jefferson would need 300 yards to go to pass Randy Moss in the next 4 games, which actually, that looks pretty likely. I mean, 300 yards in 4 games, he would still have to average 75 yards a game, which is very impressive for him to average 75 yards a game, especially when you look at the teams that we are going to play. But we're going to talk about why Justin Jefferson really will break Randy Moss's record this episode. So you look at these games that the Vikings have to play. We played the Buccaneers this week, week 14. Great defense. He can really get over 100 yards. That's a very possible 100-yard game because we cannot feed Dalvin Cook. Of course, the Vikings offense is operated around Dalvin Cook. You give him 30-some carries a game, and he will win you the game. Of course, the Buccaneers are the best run-stopping defense in the NFL with the best linebacker group in the NFL. There is no way Dalvin Cook is going to win us that game. You cannot feed Dalvin Cook all these carries with that linebacker group. He's not going to get big runs. He can still average over 4 yards a carry. Yes, he can still do that, but he's not going to get these huge runs, which is why the Vikings have won the season so far, or has won a lot of games this season so far. And then we also have the Saints, another team. Saints, I think, are second best team in the league against the run, so they're right again. And then also against the Saints, it's another very possible 100-yard game because Marshon Lattimore. Marshon Lattimore is possibly the best, in my opinion, the best cornerback in the NFL. Nobody really knows that because cornerbacks, that's this thing. A lot of positions are heavy around their stats. You look at wide receivers and you see, okay, they have this many yards. They have this many yards per reception. They do all this. They have this completion percentage. You look at the stats and you can see, okay, this is a good wide receiver. When you look at cornerbacks like Marshon Lattimore, you do not look at them and say, oh, they don't have very many interceptions. They're not a great cornerback. Nobody throws in Marshon Lattimore's side of the field. He is going to watch over Adam Thielen like a hawk. So Justin Jefferson is going to be our number 1 target that game because you cannot feed Dalvin Cook. Of course, Adam Thielen is going to be watched over by Marshon Lattimore, and he's going to be covering him. And you're better off not throwing on his side of the field because of how great of a quarterback he is on man coverage and on zone coverage, both of them. And then we also have the Bears. Again, the Bears, another great run-stopping team. These are all great run-stopping teams, except for the last team we're going to talk about. But again, Justin Jefferson, last game against the Bears, had over 100 yards of receiving. I think he will this game again against the Bears. And then, of course, week 17, we have the Detroit Lions again, which when you play the Detroit Lions, you're going to feed Dalvin Cook because that's the easiest way to victory. It doesn't matter what Justin Jefferson's stats are going to say. The easiest way to a victory against the Detroit Lions is just feeding Dalvin Cook when you have a running back like Dalvin Cook. So for that reason, that game is probably the least likely to get over 100 yards receiving, even though that is probably the easiest game to get over 100 yards receiving, if that makes any sense. Of course, against the Buccaneers, we're going to need Justin Jefferson to really show up this game against the Buccaneers, which is this week as the day that I'm recording this. That is this week. We are going to need him show up against the Buccaneers because we are going to put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hand to win that game because we cannot feed Dalvin Cook, and he is not going to get us a win when you feed Dalvin Cook against that run-stopping defense. We are going to need play-action passes. We are going to need bootlegs. We're going to need drop-back passes. We are going to need Justin Jefferson. For that reason, Justin Jefferson, I think he will get a career-high targets this week against the Buccaneers and possibly over 100 yards receiving. That right there puts him at further to getting to breaking Randy Moss's record, and I think after this week he will be on pace to break Randy Moss's record, even if he's not so far, because he still needs to average 75 yards a game going forward with the next 4 games. That's very unlikely, but I think it's going to happen. I do think it's going to happen. I think he's going to break the record. He's going to break a lot of records, and he's still not going to get Rookie of the Year, even though he is very well deserved of it and probably deserves it more than anyone else. But of course, every award in the NFL is a quarterback's award. For that reason, it is going to go to Justin Herbert, unless if Justin Herbert completely falls flat. Last week, he didn't even throw a touchdown. If Justin Herbert completely falls flat or gets injured or something like that does take place, I do think Justin Jefferson will get Rookie of the Year because he is more deserving of that. Outside of that, who's really going to compete? I mean, James Robinson, maybe. Still, when you put James Robinson against Justin Jefferson, it's pretty obvious that it's going to go to Justin Jefferson over him. But still, Justin Herbert is out there, and he will possibly, most likely, get it. And then we have the Bears. Of course, I've talked about this. Vikings against the Bears. You just pass against. You can do anything against the Bears because their offense is that bad. And you just put points against that Bears defense, and they will not be able to match. For that reason, Justin Jefferson will likely have another 100-yard game against the Chicago Bears. Again, against the New Orleans Saints. I've talked about this already, but Marshawn Lattimore is so great, and you're better off not throwing on his side of the field. So just target Justin Jefferson. Give Justin Jefferson all the targets in the world, and of course, you can't feed Dalvin Cook. So that right there, you look at that, and Justin Jefferson should be able to break the record. Maybe even against the Lions. Maybe if the Vikings care that much, they can give him a lot of targets against the Lions. Of course, Mike Zimmer does not care about this. This Rookie of the Year thing, I'm sure Mike Zimmer would be proud of Justin Jefferson for getting it, but all Mike Zimmer and all the coaching staff cares about, which is a good thing, is winning. And they want the easiest way to win. They want the easiest path to victory, and our easiest path to victory is Dalvin Cook. So the only way where Justin Jefferson wouldn't break the record would be Dalvin Cook, and they just continue to feed Dalvin Cook and give him all the carries in the world, because that is the easiest way for the Minnesota Vikings to win, because we have seen Kirk Cousins throw a lot of interceptions. Of course, as of lately, he has not. He is 15-2 since the bye week, and one of those interceptions is not even his fault. So for that reason, I do not think that I think they have to give Justin Jefferson a lot of targets against some of these games, but against the Detroit Lions, again, it's the Lions. Just feed Dalvin Cook. We saw it the first game. He had his best game of his career. He's going to do it again against the Detroit Lions, and that's all you really need. Of course, Dalvin Cook, injury prone. He could be injured by week 17, which is not a good thing, but in this case, for Justin Jefferson getting Rookie of the Year, it will probably be more likely if Dalvin Cook does get injured, which none of us want that. Anyways, I do think Justin Jefferson will beat Randy Moss's rookie season record. He will be ending the season with 1,402 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. Of course, Randy Moss's touchdown record for 17 on a rookie season is unbreakable. Justin Jefferson cannot get there. Of course, our best players in the red zone is Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph, and Dalvin Cook. Those are the players we give all of our touchdowns to. I don't think very many touchdowns are going to be going to Justin Jefferson this season as what we've seen so far and what we will continue to see for the next 4 games. I do think that will happen. Justin Jefferson will break the record and not get Rookie of the Year. That's how messed up as it is. Because, of course, the quarterback position, it's the hardest position to play, and it's the most appreciated position. And for that reason, Justin Herbert will get Rookie of the Year, and even though Justin Jefferson will break the records. Let me know what y'all think.